Well, hello. Let's get started with this new body called Fill Stitch. It's pretty much the same body as that I designed before, the same size. It's a preemie. It'll make your doll 16 inches. You're going to receive a stocking, and the body will have the filling in the feet and hands only. You're going to receive a card from me that gives you some thread and the tutorials that I have up to date here. So you're going to go to the one that's the one that I'm creating right now, the Fill Stitch. So that's enough thread and a needle to get started, and I'll give you the color thread that matches your body. That's just an example of a pink one. And I'm doing a voiceover tutorial today, if you can tell. So there's the blue thread that I'm going to use as in this tutorial. And if you don't have a funnel, I'm going to share with you a simple way to make a funnel. You could take some cardboard or paper and just make your own temporary little funnel. Put that in there. A plastic funnel makes things flow much easier, or maybe even a piece of cardboard. The paper wasn't super easy, so I'm just telling you that. It did eventually get down inside there, but the funnel really does work better. But I don't want you to going out and buying a funnel just for this one, if it's just a one-time fill. You could use a piece of cardboard like from a cereal box or something. Might work better. And eventually here we're going to speed this video up. It's going to be in fast forward mode, and because it's going to be repeated things on each limb. So I didn't want to make this a very long video, but I do want you to see how we fill at least one or two limbs and how it's stitched up. So I'm just kind of making sure that the filling or the pellets go down farther in the leg there. And here I'm just showing you, if you have a stocking that you want to cut and make little smaller little pouches, if you were going to put something like fine glass beads inside a flannel body. If it's fine glass beads, I mean, they are still round, but depending on the size, you don't want anything working its way through the seams. So something larger, either the poly pellets or a larger glass bead would be fine in this body. But if you're making this for a child, I would just use the poly plastic pellets. And then put some filler in there to block the pellets from being anywhere near the opening there, so you can stitch it closed. And just remember that polyfill after some time might pack down a little, so you can go a little fuller in the beginning, or just, you know, if you feel like you need to refill later, you can easily open that stitch back up and readjust. So the reason why I did this design is because I shared with you a sculpting tutorial on how you could go back and do some stitches and sculpting, and basically I was closing up the upper thigh and shoulder area, which is exactly what this type of design is, where the limbs are stitched closed right there by the next to the body. So You can still follow the sculpting tutorial and define the ankles and give, you know, the elbows a little definition and the knees if you wanted to add some extra little threading there after you get done filling it. But at least the where the legs and the arms meet the body, it will like be more relaxed when the baby's laying on its side, and the arms and the legs will just kind of like drop more in a relaxed position, because that was the reason for sculpting. And now you have less to sculpt. If you wanted to sculpt, it would just be your knees, elbows, and wrists and ankles, if you'd like that look. So before I even stitch the limbs closed, I kind of want to make sure my filling is equal on both sides. You can kind of go back and forth a little until you get it just right. I started off with 1/4 of a cup of pellets. Seemed like the right amount for the limbs. On the legs, they're a little larger. I went less with the arms. We'll get to that. That looks cute. I probably could have gone a little bit faster on the fast forward here. So the thread I'm giving you is a good quality thread. You want to double it up, and not just one thread going back and forth. Double it up on your needle there. You can tie a knot at the end if you like. I just kind of like put my first starter thread through, and you'll see how I kind of make a knot as I'm going through a couple more times, or you can tie a knot and then hide your ending thread inside. You're going to go in one side and out the other once we get going here, and I call it a ladder. I'm not sure if it's the exact ladder stitch I just call it a ladder stitch. You'll see. I'm tucking in the end of that tail of the thread inside. And now we're going to start with what I call a ladder stitch. Go in through one side and out through the other, and then we're going to start looping. And if it's not called a ladder stitch, I'm sorry, but that's what I call this. So pretty soon we're going to start looping. So I'm going to go in one side, out through the other, and then before I pull it all the way through, I go through the loop. So in, out, through the loop, cinch it, in, out, through the loop, cinching, and just work your way all the way to the other side, and then you're going to make a tie knot and hide your tail. You'll see. So if you don't have a body and you're just kind of watching this tutorial just to decide whether or not you wanted to order one from me, that you don't have to watch the entire thing. You can speed through towards the end. But basically we're doing this on all the limbs, but there is a part where I'm sharing how you feel the torso. You might want to watch that. So you can purchase this body from me already filled, and you don't have to do anything. And I send it to you with all the work done and the filling. You don't have to buy the pellets or the polyfill. It's just ready to go, and you can put your doll head on this. And this is, so a preemie baby can be anywhere from, it depends on, a premature baby is born, several weeks early. So a preemie baby can go up to 19 inches before it's a newborn size. So this is a body that makes a doll around 16 inches, depending on the size of the head. And my Batat brand doll heads are 4 inches tall from the neck to the top of the head, and they're 12.5 inches around the forehead. So that gives you an idea that that play doll head with this body becomes a 16-inch preemie. Now I have used a American Girl Bitty Baby head on my body, and it looks just as cute. And those are, I believe, right around 12 inches. So the Batat play doll heads are 1/2 inch larger. Not much. You could probably get away with putting a head that's around 10 inches around on this same 16-inch. Well, actually, it's a 12-inch body. So I should tell you that too. So from the neckline down to the bottom of the foot, it measures 12 inches, and the legs are slightly bent. So anyway, when I'm getting ready to fill the limbs here, I only put 1/8 of a cup in there, not 1/4 of a cup of pellets. I put 1/8 of a cup. That seemed about the right amount of pellets to put in there. And remember, I've already got polyfill in the hands and the feet. So, and I do that because when I get done sewing, I'm really inspecting the body. And when you stuff the hands and feet, I can tell if I missed anything. But when the body is inside out, I'm double checking my serging, my double stitching all around the thumb area and the fingers and the toe, feet area. I don't want anything loose or coming apart. So it's more than triple stitch. Just believe me. It takes me from cutting the fabric to the prep work to the sewing to the serging to everything, I spend a really close to an hour. And doing this tutorial without the fast forward and doing all the stitching, but also I'm, talking at the same time, it ended up being a 50-minute video. And I'm not even sure what I have it cut down to right now because I'm still editing and recording. But I did some fast forward to speed it up. So plan on the time it takes for you to fill the body and stitch it. It's going to be about an hour for you. So when you order a body complete, from start to finish to filled, that's a 2-hour job for me. And then, packaging it up and driving to the post office. You might want to keep that in mind when I have it listed. Like say I list it on Mercari and I list it for my asking price, and then I get a lot of people that just hit the like button and sit and wait for me to drop my prices. And, Mercari takes 10%, and all my sales get reported to Uncle Sam, IRS. And at the end of the year, if you make over $600 on the internet and you show that you made profit, you owe taxes on top of what you sold. So if it was a loss, say you were selling used items on the internet and you have proof and receipt that it was at a loss, that you did not earn anything, household goods, you're practically giving things away. You just have to keep record of that when you're making sales on the internet now, because they've changed the amount that, you're allowed to sell and not have to report. And they keep, like, during the COVID years, when it was going to change to the 600 amount, they delayed it, and they keep saying that, okay, this is the year. If you make 600 on the internet selling anything for a profit, you owe taxes on that amount. So selling a vehicle that you made profit on, or anything, not just, it's not just for businesses now. It's anybody selling on marketplaces. That gets turned into the IRS. Okay, I'm just kind of talking because it's kind of boring to watch a video where it's just repetitive on each limb here and the stitching. So doing the same stitching that I did at the very first limb there. But I thought I'd share that with you because, I do want to keep my prices low, but the cost of plastic poly pellets, price it out. They're not cheap anymore. You don't get very much for your dollar on the plastic pellets anymore. And when I ordered the glass beads, it's, the weight of having things shipped. Those are heavier, so that costs more. The polyplastic pellets, they don't weigh as much as glass beads, but the asking price that, when you're ordering them, I'm trying to think of how much I paid. Like sometimes I pay close to $100, and I'm trying to think how many I get. I transfer it from the bag into like a pitcher, like you would make lemonade out of one of those Rubbermaid pitchers. And I think I can fill 2 of those. And that's I think that's close to $100 worth. And I'm talking about very large pitcher. I think I can fill 2 large picture, so it's almost like getting I don't know how many pounds it is. It's late and I'm tired and I'm sorry. It's 3 in the morning and it took a long time to edit this video and make it, and that's why I'm not always on YouTube all the time with a new video, is because it takes a lot of time to make, but I do enjoy sharing a tutorial rather than paperwork when I send something off, how to put it together. I think a visual tutorial video is much better. So here I've been talking as we're filling the body, and I've already got plenty of other tutorials of how to fill a body, whether it's plastic pellets or poly pellets, glass beads or poly pellets. You need an inner stocking to put that in the torso. And that's what I'm giving you. You're getting one of these stockings, just one. So if you're going to use glass beads or something finer, you're going to have to double or triple that stocking up to make it a little thicker. But for polyplastic pellets, it doesn't need to be doubled up. And you can fill as much polyfill you want. I put a lot in the bottom area before I put that stocking in there. I wanted the stocking and the pellets in the middle. So here I'm like deciding, this looks like a little girl doll more than a boy doll, and I'm looking at the coloring against the blue. Which one do I want to put on the blue? Which one do I want to make a baby boy on a blue body? And I'm thinking I'm going to save her for a pink body. And this one here, just those blue eyes, it's just screaming, give it to me. And have you ever noticed green polyfill? I saw it at Joann's and I bought a bag. I guess it's more, I think it's more organic or recycled. I don't know, but I thought that's good for a head. It was not as expensive as the white. And I thought I'm just going to put that inside some of my heads, the play doll heads anyway. So you want to cinch it pretty tight. And I'm showing an option for a plastic cable tie. And I wanted to share with you how you can feed that through. And we're going to use the pink one as an example. You can feel where the seam is at. And I'm showing you what it's like on the inside of these bodies and all the stitch work that I did. You can see all that serging, and then there's several rows of regular stitching. That's probably called not triple stitching, quadruple stitching. I really want to make sure everything is super strong and secure. And flannel fabric is soft, and when you're guiding anything sharp, when you're filling the body, don't be using any sharp tools. Don't use knitting needles that are pokey and making, missing and poking through the fabric. You don't want to be using, anything sharp to be filling your bodies. And so getting back to putting that plastic cable tie, when you guide it through, you're going to know whether or not it will go all the way through because of that seam on the other side. And I'm showing how, even though that's a rounded tip, it's still plastic, and it's basically sharp enough to go through the fabric if you're not careful. So see which way it goes through on that seam. And it didn't go through on that direction, or no, it would have. I didn't go all the way through, but I'm showing how it's hitting that one seam that feeds all the way up. It just is kind of it's like a roadblock. So you're going to have to go in through the other direction. And you'll know, I'm just showing you how that right there, that thick, fat seam, you're not going to be able to get a cable tie through in that direction. So you go in the other direction and it feeds right through. See how you cinch it through? And I'm leaving the cording in there because I'm just showing this as an example. If you decide that you want your head securely on there without it just being tied on. And so you pull it through and tighten it up. That's how you do it. And you could still leave the cord in there if you wanted to. Now I'm going to show you how I cinch this up a lot smaller because the neck is much smaller. It just helps to get that cinched up a lot smaller because you're going to have to tighten that really good or the head is just going to fall off. And you want to test to make sure the seams are in the groove there. So give it a pull and then test it a few times and then pull it tighter again until it feels really secure. If it's not, you're just going to have to retie it tighter or it'll fall off. But the nice thing about the cording drawstring is that if the polyfill or the weight of the doll isn't enough, you didn't waste in having to cut a cable tie to get back into it, because you should really just, enjoy this cable tie drawstring for a few weeks or so, and then decide if you want to keep adding anything in there. And then when you know for sure you don't, and you just don't like the string hanging from it, then put your cable tie in there. You'll know, okay, that's exactly how I like the feel of this baby. And I'm showing you, if you don't overfill your baby, you can pose it more in a cuddly position. Anyway, that's it. And just going over the card again that you're getting there. And I'm really happy if you contact me to order from me. I really enjoy sending these off, and I'll take suggestions too if you have any. You can contact me through my website and any link that I do sell on. Make sure you follow my links to find me, because sometimes I might be on Mercari, I might be on eBay, I might be on reborns.com with these. I kind of jump around because sometimes things are slow in one area and I might want to try and sell my stuff other areas. So thank you and have a great day.